Welcome, my brothers. This is another vlog that's going on. I was thinking today about the many levels of problems in circumcision, and if we did any of these levels of criminality without the protection of a giant mafia and media machine to cover up what we're doing, we would be arrested and thought of by society as complete sickos. Number one is genital humiliation. So, if someone takes a baby, pulls down their diapers, and then displays them in a public place, and we would think they're sickos. So humiliation is the first level of the circumcision crime. The second level is the exploitation. The exploitation of the baby for a satanic ritual. Number three is rape. So they use oil and they use fondling to get the baby's penis to go up enough to cut it. So babies are capable of this half erection, and this is how they end up getting cut. And if any regular person did that, they would be arrested. Torture is the next level. It's the fourth level, is torture. So they're torturing the babies in the worst way possible. According to pain studies, it's the level 10. The male body has the largest concentration of sensitive nerves in this area. The female body has more sensitive nerves hidden inside the body that are not cuttable. They can't be messed with. I hope females understand this, that female circumcision cannot be as painful or as bad for a woman as it is for a man, because the man's stuff is all on the outside and the woman's stuff is on the inside. And unless you were to do a completely unimaginable thing, you couldn't mess with a woman like the men are getting messed with. Both wrong, and they're both committing the same types of crimes, and the degree is just somewhat different. The fifth level is the theft, the stealing the foreskins for corporate profit, being used in facial creams, being used in skin generation matrices. The English girl who got her face covered in acid, her new face is made of baby foreskins. How twisted is that? So why should I feel sorry for her when she's tortured, 10, 20 different baby boys, changed them for the rest of their lives, screwed their minds up for the rest of their lives so that she can have a face? If that was my only choice, if my face was burned off, if my only choice was to torture several other babies to reconstruct myself, I'd just kill myself. I'd just shoot myself in the head. You can't do that. It's extremely immoral, and I'm pretty sure there's got to be some other ways that you can do this. And then the sixth level is cannibalism. So we have Africans in Madagascar eating the foreskins, and you have the Jews sucking the blood out of the wound and trying to get some baby blood, baby penis blood in their mouth. All these crimes added together, just something we have to call Satanism, because it's compounded. It's like a Chinese Sometimes you see stuff in China like that. You see a guy going down the street Well, no, he's going down the sidewalk on a motorcycle with a baby, smoking a cigarette, going the wrong way, breaking like 10 laws at once, and really only Asiatics are capable of this kind of stuff. You only see these scenes in Asia. You see white people breaking a law or two, but the Asians typically are so anarchic and have such a lack of a social conscience that you see these scenes that are almost funny. I'm like, how can somebody figure out to break 10 laws at once? But Chinese are capable of it, and Jews are capable of it, Koreans, Arabs. And you have to wake up people. Don't be so naive that these people exist. And they define themselves by this. So the Jews define themselves by this horrific act. They say, if you don't do this, you're not Jewish. And it's the covenant. It is the thing. And it's not the covenant with God. It's the covenant with a golden box. The Ark of the Covenant is a golden box, maybe in the basement of some museum in England. But that's what they were worshipping. This golden box, which they felt represented their nation. They were black. They might be analogous to today's Ethiopians. And then what you have with Khazars is there's like fake Ethiopians, they're fake Jews that have converted to this. Before they called themselves the people of the snake, they were so-called phallic worshippers. They're worshipping mutilated phalluses. And then when they decide to convert to Judaism, they take this sick thing from these goat humpers in Africa and they twist it even further from being something like a scar to mark you, like a tattoo on your penis, to completely ripping off the entire foreskin and half of the penile skin. This is what we say in Chinese. When somebody is pretending to be a policeman, they are more policemen than policemen themselves. And when you're faking it, when you're a poser, you're going way over the top. And that's what these Khazar fake Jews are doing. They're many times worse than the goat humpers in Africa, who, because they're so poor and their IQ is low enough that they simply can't have much of an effect further out into the world. They did for a while in the Roman Empire. I guess they were called the Pharisees. They controlled the money in the Roman Empire. That's a pretty wide effect, I guess. But then it staves off, and the homeland is just this desolate desert that they ruined from meat eating. And their idea of morality, of course, is immoral. So whatever they say is good is pretty much going to be bad. And when you open up the Talmud, this book of the modern Jews, which is really only written, I think, 600-700 years ago at the most, the Talmud is more of an affront to the whole idea of moral thinking. It's ridiculous. Every part of it is ridiculous, and it will make you laugh. Go to comeandhear.com, read the Talmud for yourself, and it is the antithesis of the ancient Bible, the pro-vegetarian, the sober Bible. It turns that whole thing on its head, turns the Essenes, the Sufis, the Middle Eastern vegetarian Hinduistic mystics. It turns their whole sense of life on end, and at the same time trying to destroy the whole idea of morality itself. It's just saying morality doesn't exist. The only thing we have are these books, and you're supposed to follow these books that have these really dumb rules in them. And that's probably, you'll spend half of your time when you're reading the Talmud, you'll spend half of your time laughing, because it's just the silliest thing you could possibly imagine. Like there's no sense of right and wrong, it's just a sense of reading these rules, and the rules have no sense to them, they're just complete nonsense. And half the time you should be rather concerned, because like the circumcision section, it should be concerning you. It's extremely immoral, amoral, satanic, and well, that's why they're there. That's why That's how they get their position. They almost look white. They almost look like they could be Europeans, maybe. And so that's how they snuck their way into European society. And then they took up the jobs, the things that Europeans wanted to shove into the background. They wanted to do these things but not admit them. So, Europeans, white fellows, yes, the Jews are also your fault. The Jews are our fault that they exist, that they have the jobs that they have, that they've been able to rise to power as they have. They should be beggars on the street, but instead they become extremely powerful because of our weaknesses. So, don't be drinking, masturbating, using porn, or having these other problems. Live a pure life, and these satanic people lose their power. They lose their power against you. We have lots of these CIA weirdos, Jews, agents, American government people. They come out to Nanjing where we are here, and they're really obvious because they have a big mouth. But they don't affect me, or they don't affect anybody else that's clean. And the same will be true for you if you just accept the pure lifestyle. If you don't accept the pure lifestyle, you feel circumcision is wrong, well, I've got bad news for you. Circumcision is going to be right back. If everybody's a pervert, then the foreskins get infected again, and people start cutting them off again. So you can't be Howard Stern. You can't be saying, "Oh, I'm a big wanker and I love prostitutes," and say, "Oh, I'm mad about circumcision. I want a more sensual experience." Well, if you're in it for the sensual experience, then you're actually pro-circumcision. That's how the whole thing started. Howard Stern, and God damn you, Howard Stern. Hope you lose your job. And I hope for all of us brothers that purity and asceticism and devotion to the God and our meditation, daily meditation. Do your daily meditation. Remember at least 30 minutes every day. The inner world is much bigger than the outer world. Remember to do that. Remember to keep all of us in our prayers so that we may be together someday. Amen and Om. Genital humiliation. So, if someone takes a baby, pulls down their diapers, and then displays them in a public place, and we would think they're sickos. Welcome, my brothers. This is another vlog that's going on. I was thinking today about the many levels of problems in circumcision, and if we did any of these levels of criminality without the protection of a giant mafia and media machine to cover up what we're doing, we would be arrested and thought of by society as complete sickos. Number one is, so humiliation is the first level of the circumcision crime. The second level is the exploitation. The exploitation